Hey guys, so this is a secondary channel video, and again, not sure if this is going to be for Patreon or for public, but wanted to update you on some projects we have going on. A lot of stuff we keep under wraps until we're really fully ready to publish, but some of the stuff's just cool, and I think it's worth showing a bit in advance. Patrick already talked about the 3175X build we want to do for a production system. This is a bit of an update to that. We pushed back the streaming on that for an extra week, and it was because I wanted to get some parts in. So I don't know if these were here when he talked about it last time, but these are bike ski blocks, and I'm basically 100% sure that's the correct pronunciation because they tweeted it. Apparently it's a common enough question that that was needed. So I think it's bike ski. But these are their blocks. They were labeled on the website as RTX 5000 blocks. In reality, they fit pretty much everything. So the actual copper piece even says on it 2080 Ti. I'll hold that still for a second. So it says 2080 Ti on there. Now the plastic says RTX 5000, but the plastic is obviously easier to change, and then they could just put a different plastic piece on the metal piece. So it makes sense from a manufacturing standpoint, availability, all that stuff. So yeah, it's an RTX 2080 Ti block with a different nameplate, and then it's also cut out differently over here. So this cut in right there is because of where the cables connect on the 5000 is different from the 2080 Ti. It's on the side instead of the top. So that's why that's cut in there. But yeah, that's these are the blocks we're going to use. We can't use the EK bridge with it, unfortunately, but we do have a bike ski bridge now, so we'll be using that. And now we have more terminals to go between cards. And that's going to be our solution for the production machine. If you're not sure what I'm talking about or you want to know more about it, go watch the video with Patrick. I think it was a Patreon only one, assuming this is not Patreon only. So you go to patreon.com/gamersnexus to get that. I'll maybe set it public at some point, but either way, you'll see a stream for it sometime in the near future. So that's the changes for that. We're probably going to use black tubing for it. I'd like to use matte black, kind of like the ZMT coloring, but it's really hard to get that type of tubing in the sizes we need because the outer diameter is too big for most of it. So we're probably going to use a more glossy tubing. Not particularly happy about that, but I'll do it anyway. And then for the other stuff going on, we've got this thing, this Camino Auto. Linus did a video about this. It was something like the prototype computer blows us away, and I think he's the only one who's really covered it in depth yet. But we have one also. I am not thoroughly impressed, but you'll hear about why in the review. But my initial reactions are prototype or not. There's a lot of things I would change about this. The front, I know it's a prototype, but there's scratches on the front, scratches on the inside of the paneling, and it's just like, you know, you're sending this to a reviewer, so you'd think you'd try and get as much right as you can, and if you can't get right for a reviewer, I don't know about customers, but there's scratches in places. There's a lot of dust. That was from the styrofoam packaging, the way it was done, and it's all inside of the thing. The cool side is that it's ultra compressed liquid cooling, so it is very small box for what's in there. Let me see if I can get this thing off. That's the other problem. Okay. Oh yeah, there's the scratches I'm talking about. So I mean, to be fair, they do call it a prototype, and they're aware of this, but I'd just sooner not have it if it's not going to be presentable. Yeah, really small, but a lot of things I would change. So we'll talk about that in the video at some point. I need to do thermals on it. But it's got Asus's name on it because I think RGB, and then otherwise it's Camino Auto is the product. But I would say that I am currently leaning critical. I wouldn't say negative, but I would say leaning critical on it. So yeah, we're working on that. Also this, I mean, this, again, prototype, so they just shipped it with, I want to say it's a European outlet plug. We have adapters here. It's just kind of weird because this is like modular. You just unplug it from the power supply in there and swap it for a different one. So again, it's kind of like a presentation thing where if this is coming from a company that's trying to prove itself, and it's like, come on guys, you know you shipped it to the US. Really? Like, you got to prove to me that you can do it right for customers. Prototype is not, an excuse for basic stuff like that. Because now it's when I do the review, I don't know if a customer is going to get the right cable. So I have to kind of factor that in and say, well, this is a concern, but it should be fine. And if it's not, I guess you can go buy a cable, but that's kind of dumb. You shouldn't have to do that. So it's a lot of small stuff. You can tell they're not very experienced with this. But that's my current thoughts on that one. So anyway, let's move on to one more thing, an Atari system that we're working with. So this is just kind of a fun thing. It wasn't planned at all. And we're going to be working on a video of this video computer system, and it's going to be a refurbishment restoration video. Basically, I was at a local, I went to an area I haven't been in probably like 8 years, and drove by an area and noticed that there was a toy store I had never seen before. And I don't mean like a modern toy store, I mean like collector style. So I went in there and looked around, and there was just this thing sitting on the shelf. It was one of the first things I saw. And I didn't particularly care about much else in the store, but this really caught my eye, and $12 was the price on it. I don't know if that's really good or not, but I mean, it's cheap enough that's like, okay, well, that's a fun video idea. And it's just dirty enough where we can clean it up and make it look really good without an insane amount of like retro brighting or anything like that. We really just need to scrub it. So that should be fun to make it look brand new again. And then this is like I said, it's a video computer system, so it's an Atari. My understanding is that this is more or less an Atari 2600, just with an older name on it. But I don't know, I haven't researched the full history yet, so work with me if I'm not 100% accurate on that. But we will obviously for the video. And then our plan is to take it apart, because when it was listed for $12, it had a sticker on it that said "just parts, doesn't turn on." So I asked about it. I asked the guy, do you know what's going on with it? And he said, well, it's most of these, when they fail, it's just one chip in there that needs to be replaced. I did some research, and there's something called a riot chip in this that apparently is a really common failure. And there's only 3 socketable chips that commonly fail in these. I found all 3 on eBay for about $10. So I bought all 3 of those, and we can just swap one at a time until we find which one's broken. So apparently that's all it is to get this thing working. And I just thought it'd be a fun project. I'm not trying to get like, we're not doing any stupid spin on it. Like, can you rebuild an Atari and sell it for more money or anything like that? It's just I want to do this because it'd be fun. So we bought those, and then I also have, I think they're back here somewhere. I bought a chip puller, which is what this is. So I found this just on Amazon, basic tool, but you can pull these out with flatheads from the original once we open it, but this is a bit safer and more proper, so you clamp it around the edges and you pull it up. So that is a chip puller specifically for this job. Haven't worked with one before, so that's a fun opportunity too. And yeah, that's the idea. It was just this console, didn't come with power, so we found the correct power connector specs and bought a clone. And in fact, it's such a clone, we'll show this in the video later, but it's such a clone that the label on the power supply is a photocopy of the original, wherein you can see the photocopy, like the crease in the original paper. We got 2 controllers I found online. One is much grosser than the other. The cable's pretty gross on that one. So I think one of these is maybe an original and one might be a third party. I'm not exactly sure how to differentiate them. Bought 2 controllers, bought an adapter for display. Patrick brought in his older TV that should support output, and now we're just waiting for a cartridge. That's the only reason we haven't produced this yet. So once we get a cartridge in from eBay, a couple games, we'll be able to see if it works presently, and then we'll be able to replace chips till it does work. And I just want to have fun cleaning the thing up and making it look good again. So that should be a fun project for us, and I think that's most of what we bought for it. So yeah, I mean, realistically, if you just want an old Atari system, there are a lot of them on eBay, and you can buy like the console, 2 controllers, accessories, and like 100 games for basically $100. So this probably is not a cost-effective way to go about doing things, but it's a more fun way to do things. And it kind of reminded me of when I had more time and I could go to like a flea market and look around and go, oh, that looks like a fun project for a Saturday, and just buy it and then fix it. So we haven't had a lot of time to do that stuff lately. So that's what this is, but you'll see this on the channel soon enough. We're just waiting on those game cartridges, and we'll be good to go on that. Keep an eye out for it. That's it for this one. Thanks for watching. Subscribe for more. We'll have additional behind-the-scenes content on this channel. Some of it's Patreon only, so you can go to patreon.com/gamersnexus to get access to those, and then just go to the posts feed in Patreon. You can scroll through and get them all, or you can go to the Patreon Discord and find them on the GN official channel. If you don't know how to join that, just Google search for connect Patreon to Discord and follow the instructions. And yeah, that'll cover us for now. So thanks for watching. I'll see you all next time.